Hello. So I'm gonna try one of those, what do you call it? Sitting down and eating your food Korean videos. Which name eludes me at the moment and I'm too lazy to look it up. So today we have, I already shot a video of the Indian food earlier. I mean, I'm guessing it's Indian now, but basically it's pretty much Indian. Cutlery comes with, oh dear. Okay, wiping it up it's not as easy as I thought it would be. I will figure it out later. Get some soap. So let's dig in. Well, the good thing is it's really hot. I wish we could have less rice though. I feel like such a tremendous waste if I don't finish it. But if I finish it, I'm gonna get really fat. Curry's pretty good. The rice is also actually really nice. Like, it's biryani. Basmati rice, yeah. Sorry, not biryani. It's curry chicken. I mean, at least it looks and tastes like chicken. I'm guessing these are like begedils. Yep, I'm right. Not sure you can. I should be able to see them. I think for future I should probably line like some papers on the table before I eat. Especially curry. But you learn as you go along. So I'm guessing people usually talk while they eat, or do they just eat? I don't know. Nothing really much to talk about when you're alone. Although I suppose if I start making this into a series, yeah, you can ask me questions in the comments below. And I'll try to answer them at the next meal or something like that. Don't plan to live stream at the moment. Why am I doing this? Well, I have 14 days of solo existence. Don't get me wrong, I've done it before. And I found that I'm generally quite okay with being by myself for extended periods of time. But I suppose I just like the general conceit of people spending their time to watch me eat and talk while I eat. Mukbang. Now I remember. That's what it's called. I guess maybe one thing we can talk about is the difference between the quarantine process in Singapore as opposed to the one I experienced when I was in KL. So I did a quarantine for 14 days back in October of last year. I flew to KL from Singapore. Oh wow, so much oil. And there's some similarities, no doubt, but it's actually quite different, I would say, in the overall impression. KL one was a lot more stressful. And I don't think it was like intentionally so. Could be that because it was the first time for me as well. It's just like really new to it. But I'll have to say this about Singapore, that they do go out of their way to try to make you feel as welcome, or to make it as smooth as possible. Because yeah, I don't think most people look forward to spending 14 days in isolation. So what do I mean by that, right? So for example, when I was in KL, so I recall when we got off the plane, first thing it straight away made us do was to go for the swab test. Right. And you had to register for the My Sejahtera app in order to do that. So for most of us, it was alright, but there were some people on the flight who maybe not so IT literate, couldn't really use their phones properly, and to compound matters, they spoke only Mandarin. So the officers at the KLIA just struggled to actually get them to essentially comply lah. Alright. So it ended up being a situation where the other passengers had to kind of step in, I guess, translators. Singapore, I guess the difference is that at least for the first part upon stepping off, it was still like business as usual. I mean, you had your security checks and all that sort of stuff. But that was present even before COVID. And it was only after you get your luggage that they take you to the swabbing stations. Oh god, I need a tissue. Oops. So the big difference was that in Malaysia, basically the people who were handling the quarantine process were officers from the Ministry of Health, the army, as well as Bomba, the fireman, right? And everything was kind of serious. Like, you know, had a big guy in uniform ordering you around. Yeah, sorry about that. I have a mucus issue, so practically during the mukbang, you're gonna see me blowing my nose a lot if this continues to be a series. Yeah, so I was saying that in Malaysia, it was mainly the army and the fire service as well as the ministry officers from the Ministry of Health who were handling it. So it was all like a very I won't not authoritarian lah, but serious. Like we're swabbing you now. And the whole place reminded me of like frankly like a zombie apocalypse movie, right? Triage stands, things like that. Singapore, like I said, Changi Airport. Look, the first person that they got to greet you, at least for the start of the COVID testing process, was this lady who, first thing she says is Happy Chinese New Year. Then she wants to make sure whether you've paid for your PCR test already. So one of the other things which Singapore does, which I think is pretty smart, is you can pre-register and pay for the test first. That cuts down time. And if you haven't, I think she's there to guide you to on how to pay lah. And frankly, I don't know who she is. Like the uniform doesn't say, but she was dressed like in civilian personnel. Might just be a Chinese staff, and definitely like a client-facing role lah, or customer-facing role, because she was very well trained in like how to handle and to speak diplomatically, things like that. And after that, I went forward, did some more registration, getting a bunch of friend. I don't know. Could be that the numbers were a lot less, right, in Singapore than the flow that they were handling in Malaysia at the time. So like the people here were actually sort of like joking, seeing who gets the most passengers to come to them. And they were literally going out their way, like, oh ma'am, please come to my lane. Yeah, you may register here and stuff like that. And they were having like a little bit of fun among themselves, which is nice. I mean, doesn't scare you off the bat. Whereas like in Malaysia, I think I tried to film the process, and they were like, oh, this is a restricted area, you can't film that. And then they came up, made me delete my footage. To be fair, I didn't try to film the swap zones in Singapore this time around. And the other experience which I had, but this one could also again just be a matter of pure luck. When I was in Malaysia, they really struggled to swap my throat. My tongue just wouldn't depress. Surprisingly, today my swab test went by really, really fast. Like both throat and nose. So yeah, I think after that, I guess the difference are alright. So in Malaysia, after you're done with all the testing and stuff and you make payment in cash, then we were all made to wait along chairs, just sitting outside for ages, right? Not knowing where we were going. And then finally, when they ordered us to, alright, it's time to get on the bus, they segregated everyone to like male and female. Honestly, it felt like primary school all over again, or something ridiculous like that lah. I was like, well, I mean, it's Malaysia lah, maybe it's conservative Muslim, things like that, blah blah blah. Anyway, in Singapore, I think after we were done with all the COVID testing, we sat down probably less than 5 minutes, honestly. The bus was there to ferry six of us to our designated quarantine center. And throughout like I said, the whole time there, it's more of like people mostly, I think they try to get most of the people to be dressed in civilian clothing, or at least non-military, non sort of uniform clothes lah. Which lessens the stress impact, I reckon, of the entire process. Could be an intentional choice. Could be a happy coincidence. But I think overall, that was something which I felt was positive lah. Then on Singapore, what happens is they take you to the bus, and then the guy helps you load your big luggage on top, and you just get on board. Whereas in Malaysia, I think we had to wait outside the bus. We all had to organize our luggage in a row. Then the fireman literally hosed our luggage down with disinfectant, and then proceeded to hose us as well, hose our feet, our lower half of our body, if I recall correctly lah. Then we got on the bus. So that was I won't say dehumanizing lah, but it was a bit shocking. You know, that it was treated. I wouldn't say that here they treat it any less seriously, but maybe there wasn't a medical need here lah, considering the situation now, whereas in Malaysia, yeah. So we got on the bus, at least for the KL side. And what happened was we got to the hotel pretty damn late actually, like 6+7 or something like that. And then we were made to wait outside the hotel for close to 1 to 2 hours, right? And you could see everyone inside the hotel was like dressed up in full PPE. Everyone's tired. To be fair, that was the very first day that the hotel that I went to was doing quarantine. So could be lots of teething issues lah, right? Whereas in Singapore, we got here, I mean, they let us down. We sit in the lobby for a while. There's always somebody on hand to direct you where to go. And then you check in, it's almost like a normal check-in process. Apart from the fact that they gave you a complimentary thermometer lah. So one of the odd things actually which I noted from Singapore is that up to now I have not been asked to download Trace Together or any of the other apps which they told me on the ICA website I had to download. So yeah, when I was in Malaysia, every day we had to report by MySejahtera, how we felt, things like that. Apparently what's going to happen here is like I'm supposed to take my temperature every morning with the thermometer, and the hotel will check in with me. So yeah, and I guess oh yeah, I'm staying at a Hotel Jen at Orchard Gateway, by the way, so shout out to them. So far so good. They've been really nice lah, right? Like you call them up on the room service, they'll straight away address you by name. Hi, how may I help you, Mr. Tu? I asked for a shaving kit and an iron, and they gave it to me. So that's good. And I think they're also trying their best to like reduce waste. So they gave us a little sponge, dishwashing liquid, and asked us, hey, could you try to wash your own dishes? The cutlery actually. So that, you know, we don't have to waste clothes the environment just to fit you. So Malaysia didn't have laundry service. I think the protocol was basically you guys are probably infected, so we're not gonna come near you. Yeah, I think for some people 2 weeks in, well, they had to figure it out lah. Right. Now here laundry service isn't provided for free, but I think it's a very reasonable $20 for 5 clothings per day max. So it's fine. I mean, why the hell are you gonna wear up to 5 pieces of clothing? You're not going anywhere. If you're gonna exercise, just do it naked lah. Who the hell is gonna see? Which reminds me, I wonder whether they'll have exercise mats. Oh well. Anyway, I finished my meal. It's a heck of a lot of rice. And yep. That's it.